ladies and gentlemen. Joe Biden said he wanted a immediate retaliation on these militants that took out these three soldiers. And I did the video on these soldiers a little earlier this week. So here's an update. So the U.S. military struck back late Friday at Iranian proxies in Syria and Iraq in retaliation for a drone attack last weekend that killed 3 U.S. soldiers in Jordan. This is according to the Pentagon. The strikes began a little more than an hour ago, so this really just happened. After the conclusion of a dignified transfer ceremony honoring the three fallen soldiers at Dover Air Force Base in Delaware. Yeah, I did see they were unloading coffins from a plane, so I did see that. Okay, so the strikes were preceded by a series of explosions in Syria that are not believed to be caused by the U.S. military. However, the Pentagon declined to comment on the matter. Senior Biden administration officials have previously said it would be pretty clear when the U.S. retaliation campaign begins, with the Pentagon and National Security Council saying Thursday will be a multifaceted campaign. Okay. So the U.S. pledged to hold the Islamic resistance in Iraq umbrella group accountable for this weekend's attack, which killed Sergeant William Jerome Rivers, 46, Specialist Kennedy Landon Sanders, 24, and Brianna Alexandria Moffett, 23, and wounded approximately 40 other U.S. service members. With nearly a week elapsed since the attack, critics of the Biden administration have warned that the delay has given Iranian military officials and members of Tehran backed militia groups ample time to go into hiding. Biden had authorized a tiered response starting as soon as this weekend. So today was the first strike. They got more strikes on these areas over the weekend. So these strikes are supposed to take place over the next several days on Iranian personnel and facilities in Syria and Iraq. U.S. officials told the Wall Street Journal, as well as non military steps to prevent escalation of the conflict. Tensions have spiked between the U.S. and Iranian proxy forces in the Middle East ever since they're talking about the Israel Hamas war. So Biden vowed the U.S. shall respond, but with caution over the course of a week. So look like the action will be going on starting this weekend and all through next week. I don't think we need a wider war in the Middle East. That's not what I'm looking for, he told reporters on Tuesday outside of the White House, adding that he held Iran responsible in the sense that they're supplying the weapons to the people who did it. Republican defense hawks blasted the president for his hesitation following the deaths of 3 American service members. So, what they're saying is when this happened on Sunday, he should have struck back like within a day or two. And the fact that he waited an entire week to even strike, they may not even be in the areas that's being, bombed. They may be long gone. I guess time will tell, right? So that's what they're saying. They said it should have been almost an immediate strike back on them and not take a week, because they said that is conveying weakness. It tells Iran that it is acceptable to kill Americans. This is according to Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas. Our response should be overwhelming, a force to deter these attacks. So hit them so hard that they won't do it again. The last directed attack on Iranian military official was when Trump was president. Y'all remember when that general was killed January 3rd, 2020? It was an ordered drone strike by Donald Trump, and it was Qasem Soleimani, the general of the revolutionary forces that Iran have, the IRGC. I remember that attack. I'm just thinking back. I remember that attack, and I think we all do, because it was one of those things that happened, and then I think none of us saw it coming until afterwards. And I remember being on the live streams when they had the general's funeral, and it was a lot of Americans out there mocking the Iranians. And those Iranians were saying, if I could get a hold of one of you Americans, I would, I'm not going to repeat what they said, but yeah, they were in there really trolling the funeral where they live streamed it. It was mainly on the foreign sites. They didn't really live stream it here, but a lot of Americans went over there and was trolling the Iranians, and they did not like it. So earlier this month, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin announced the strikes were carried out on 3 facilities that were used by Iranian-backed militia groups and other Iranian-affiliated groups in Iraq. Those precision strikes were in response to an attack just days before on an Iraq air base that wounded U.S. forces and were part of an escalation of attacks against the U.S. and coalition personnel in Iraq and Syria by Iranian-sponsored militias. This is according to Austin. So it looked like they struck back and will be striking back this weekend and all of next week. So y'all gonna have to tell me what you think about this one. We are in very different times now, and I can see this turning into something bigger. But let me know how you feel. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.